Hey you guys, it's Jane from Surface Anthology. You might know me from Chalk Mercantile and also Authentico Paint USA. I wanted to show you guys how to use gold leaf, so gilding. And it's a lot of fun. It's really easy. It's way easier than a lot of people realize. So I've been working on this little board. I'm calling it my grungy French board, and it's on a piece of oak that I applied some iron orchid molds, some Authentico paint in different layers with some sea salt. And my inspiration was, if you haven't heard of Milieu magazine, it's one of my favorites. But I loved these colors. There's no gold here, but I just love these colors. I thought they were really beautiful. So I used that as my inspiration. And so I know a lot of people ask me about color, where to get inspiration. A great place. Move away from Pinterest, get yourself some magazines and or look at favorite paintings, watercolors, oil paintings, and you can really get some great inspiration there. So back to gilding. So what you need is size. That's the glue, the adhesion that's used, and they used to use like rabbit glue, all kinds of animal glues. We don't use those anymore. And you need gold leaf. This is not real gold leaf. And you can get real gold leaf. I think it's 23 karat. It's gold is really expensive right now. You can also get real sterling and real copper. It's just so expensive now. But this is good stuff, and it looks like real gold leaf. So I don't have a whole book, but it comes in what's called a book of 24 or 25 sheets. And they're the size of this square. I cut mine down because you don't need, when working on something like this, you don't need to use these big sheets. They'll just be a lot of waste. So I cut mine down. I guess this is like 1.5 inch, 2 inch strip. All right, so we have our size, we have our gold leaf. And then by the way, I put my size into, I can see these little yogurt cups, and it keeps it, from getting contaminated. When you do open and close your size, make sure you wipe the rim because it will be glued closed if you don't. Okay, now brushes. Oh, and have some water. So I'm doing a very grungy look, a very kind of antiqued, worn down gold leaf look. So I'm gonna show you a technique that I use for that. There's many different ways to apply gold leaf. So this is just one. So I have just an artist brush, a natural bristle brush, and it's not a really good one, so don't get out your sable brushes. And I dip it into the size, and I'm really getting it on there. Have some paper towel next to you in case you need to unload a little bit if you get too much on there. And what I do is I actually roll. Let's see if you can get this. I roll the size on with the side of my brush. And that way it's gonna give you that worn look. Like that. Now I did part of this earlier because you do have to wait a few minutes for it to come to tack, it's called. And that's when it feels kind of sticky, but it doesn't come off on your fingers. So again, we just take our brush and we roll the size on. Let me get this little bee over here. I love the iron orchid molds. I've got a whole bunch of other projects that I'm working on, and I hopefully will be in here in the next couple of days to show you what I'm doing and how to do it. All right, the other option, put your brush in water, is you can take, like, this is another big natural bristle brush, and you can dip that into the size. Take a little bit of that off, and you can kind of brush it on this way. And everywhere that size goes, your gold leaf will stick. Okay. The other way, the rolling is going to be more broken up for sure. This is a little bit more of an even application. Okay, put that brush into some water. Make sure your hands don't have any glue because you'll be leafing your fingers, which they actually do. I used to do makeup and we used to put leaf on people. All right, so I am a lefty. So I work with the seam to my left, in my left hand. And you just have to get to a page of leaf. And there we go. And I kind of hold it like this. My fingers aren't touching the leaf. I'm using that tissue. And by the way, this side, which I started with, has come to tack. So I'm ready to do this side. This side, if you look, is still a little milky. And that's a sure sign that it has not come to tack and it's not ready yet. All right, so kind of burnish it on. Now, you'll see I have a big page here, so I'm just gonna lift this up. And use some of that. And I sometimes will even take, because it can really get very gluey and sticky, just take some of that tissue. And pardon my hands, I've been painting all day today. So I'm good and covered with paint. All right, so there's our little crown done. And of course, we're gonna brush some of that away. That's what that looks like. And I'm gonna do this laurel wreath here. Half a laurel wreath. So, don't have windows open, don't have a fan on, because the gold leaf will definitely blow away. All right, let's turn that over. Burnish that. Pull that out. Get to another page. All right, take my piece of tissue and really get the gold leaf into contact where everywhere you put the size. And by the way, if you ever get a chance to look at, go to a museum, you look at those beautiful antique, I don't know, 17th, 18th century frames, and you'll see that there's like a red underneath. That's called bowl, and it was made from clay, and they used to do that just to enhance that gold. And we have that. I'll be doing some gold leaf with the red. I didn't want to bring that color into this piece that I'm making here, so I didn't use it, but you can absolutely do that. you can really go crazy and use all kinds. If you wanted to put blue underneath a silver leaf, orange underneath the copper leaf, you can make it your own. Okay, now to get the excess leaf off, I'm just using a natural bristle brush, and you just brush away. And yep, there's lots of waste. I had a woman in a workshop start collecting it all up, and I said, it's not real gold, don't worry. But boy, if it was real gold, you really want to be careful. So that's how it comes out. That's very raw. I haven't waxed this yet. I haven't done anything else. That's just the gold leaf on those pieces. Now let's see how the bow is so pretty. Yeah, I think I could push that. Let's get that bow. I'm starting to stick. Open up another page. And I might as well go right up the side and get this little bee over here. Now I've seen people do the insides of lampshades, so beautiful. Especially when you do it in like copper leaf, because it just gives it a really, the light a really warm glow. That little guy there. Do you see how fast this is? It's really fast. And you would do this before, I have no idea, by the way, where the camera is. I think it's right over there. You would do this before you finish with wax. It won't stick to anything that's waxed. All right, let's put this on this crown and finish up our bee leaf. And one more little piece over here. Thank goodness this is the grungy look, because I could pick and pull like that. I've seen people take the big sheets and lay them out really precisely and do like a section of a wall. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, we'll finish our crown. And I think that's it. And if you miss an area, you're like, oh, I didn't get that, you just go back in with your size, wait for it to come to tack, and apply more. All right, and again, I'm gonna come in here, brush away that excess. Kind of burnishing a little bit too. That is it. If you get it somewhere you don't want it, and just kind of go in and dab a little bit of your paint over it if it really bothers you, or sand it out a little bit. So that's it. Now, the other thing you can do, I have some steel wool here, because it's really bright. This is really bright. You can take your steel wool kind of put it in a little ball, and you can kind of go in and burnish this a little bit. And it will pull just a little bit off the top. This is very fine steel wool, but it'll knock some of that brightness away. If you look at where I did that on the bow, let's see, ooh, everything's opposite. It kind of just knocks it down a little bit, you know, adding to that age and looking like it's worn. So what I'm gonna do now with this piece, brush away, give it another good brush, is I am going to wax it, and I'm probably going to hit it a little bit more with the steel wool so it's not as bright. And then I'm gonna pick out some waxes. I wanna kind of stay with this moodiness, but add a little more depth, maybe some of the metallic waxes. So I'll come on again, I'll do a live when I am waxing and finishing this. And I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you have any questions at all, you can add them into the comments under the live. If you're watching the replay, I don't quite know how to do that now. While I'm actually recording, I don't know where that pops up. So thanks for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon.